How's it going, everybody? And I am here to review the very highly anticipated release of the Best of Sting 3-disc set. This set was, when it was announced earlier this year, I'm pretty sure everyone just went crazy for it. Everyone was very excited. Even before it was announced, I know a lot of people, including myself, have been wanting a Sting set for years, and we finally got it this year. We got it this past Tuesday. I was able to watch it over the last couple days, enjoying it and just watching great Sting matches. And yeah, I really enjoyed the set. I know some people don't like the set, like my good friend Gemini. I watched his videos, and I understand why I didn't dislike it. But whenever you have a best of or an Ultimate Collection style set, you should expect nothing but matches. And to what I think is, I know a lot of people were hoping for a documentary in this set. What I think is WWE is definitely waiting for a future documentary set on Sting. I think they're going to wait till after he has somewhat of a WWE run, because I think it's inevitable that he has. You'll be on TV most likely around WrestleMania time. He'll probably have a WrestleMania match. I'm pretty confident he'll have one. So I'm pretty sure WWE is waiting for him to have at least somewhat of a run to make a documentary on, so they can include that on the documentary and state how big of an impact and how big of a deal it was for Sting to finally go over to WWE, being the guy that's never been there before. So we'll definitely get a Sting documentary, I think, probably within the next a year or two. I wouldn't surprise if they did one next year, to be honest. But I'd say within a year or two they'll have a documentary set on Sting, I think. But for now, we were produced with a lot of, I think at least 30, I think it was 31 or 32 Sting matches on the set. And I can say honestly I was very pleased watching this. I really enjoyed watching it. Just a lot of great Sting matches on this set. It's very, very enjoyable. And let's stop wasting time talking about it and just jump right into the review now. Alright. As you see here on the cover, it's a very basic but badass cover. It says right there, the best of Sting. Of course, you got Sting blocking the eye, and Sting. Look how badass Sting looks in the cover. He just looks like a badass. Like, I don't know. That's like the best picture they could have put for this DVD cover, in my opinion. And it's just completely badass picture of Sting. You go to the side, there's the same picture of Sting right there. The best of Sting 3-disc set. You go to the back, you got some pictures. You got Sting right there, looking like The Undertaker a little bit. It's kind of a weird picture of Sting. You got some pictures in the back. You got a picture of him right there. This is actually this is kind of controversial. This is actually a picture of the fake Sting. That's not even the real Sting. It is the fake Sting. But this is a Sting set, not a Steve Borden set. So I kind of it was okay for me to put a picture of the fake Sting, because it is part of Sting history, but they didn't acknowledge it on the DVD set, so it is kind of pointless to have them on there. And then from what I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but from what I heard, that the next batch of Sting sets they make, they're actually going to replace this picture with something else. So if you don't have this set, you might want to buy it, because this might be rare to have the set with the fake Sting on it. So I'd pick it up if you haven't already. I'd pick it up. It's a great set in general, but if you want to have a collector's item, that's a good one right there. And of course, you got a picture of him, Hollywood Hogan, right there, and a picture of Surfer Sting right there. Against an army of shadow lies a dark warrior, the purveyor of good, with a voice of silence and a mission of justice. This is Sting! The battle between good and evil casts a dark shadow over his soul, but through all transformations, one man remained the lone symbol of an era. Sting became the franchise of WCW almost instantly when he arrived and carried the company's banner through to its final match in 2001. Whether casting his piercing war cry into the sky or descending from the somber stone-faced determination, Sting captivated wrestling fans from all the walks of life. Now celebrate the icon with a collection of matches and moments guaranteed to strike fear into the black hearts of all evil doers. And right here, just some of the matches on the set right here. So yeah, it's pretty basic back, and you open it up. Look at Sting just staring into your soul right there. It's a badass picture right there from Monday Nitro, March 16th, 1997. And you got a picture of Sting right there with the WCW title when he won it from Hogan at Starrcade 97 when he saved WCW. And you open the set up. Of course, here's the inside. Here's the disc. You have disc 1. And behind disc 1 is a picture of the California Surfer Sting, his early years. Behind disc 2, you have the most notable Sting. I'm pretty sure this is the Sting everyone thinks of when they think of Sting. It's a Crow Sting. Just look at him. He looks so badass. Crow Sting, you can't go wrong with him. And of course, behind disc 3, you have Wolfpack is back, causing mass destruction. Yeah, Wolfpack Sting, just with the epic red face paint. Can't go wrong with that either. But yeah, there's Bond 3 discs, and here is the inside. There's a little picture of him from the 2K commercial. And here's what the inside just has a listing. You guys can pause and read the listing, or you can go on Wrestling DVD News to read the listing, because I'm not going to sit here and read everything out. So if you want, you can just pause and read it as I go down, or like I said, you can just go on Wrestling DVD News and go to their listing section and just look at the listing there. This is disc 2, and disc 3, right here. And yeah, that will do it for the set. You know, looking at it, the listings. My overall thoughts on this DVD set was I thought it was very good. I honestly very much enjoyed it. The first disc was by far the best disc in my opinion. Just I had a lot of fun watching that disc. Just great match after great match after great match, which was surprising to me because it was his early stuff, and I honestly didn't know how good Sting was in his early years, and I didn't know how over he was in his early years, because I always thought, you know, Sting was a big name, but I didn't think he got that big until, you know, before he basically came the Crow Sting. But although the interviews, you don't get too much out of it, it's recycled footage from WCW home video with Sting. But you do have new interviews from guys like Dean Ambrose, you have Ric Flair, and have Hulk Hogan. So you have guys talking about him, but the interview from Sting himself was an old home video exclusive one. There was a one from Disc 1 and 2 had an interview from 1995, and Disc 3 had a 1998 interview. So it's not new Sting footage, but I think it's still good. But Disc 1, like I said, definitely the best disc. This great match with a great match. One complaint I did have about Disc 1, though, was the first Ric Flair versus Sting match on there. I know back then they based it, whatever TV time they had a match, and if the match didn't finish, basically the match got cut off. And the Ric Flair Sting match was going phenomenal, and the match ended because they ran out of TV time, so the match got cut off, and the match never ended. So it kind of pissed me off that they put a match that wasn't full on there. But yeah, Disc 1 is very good. Just great match with a great match with a great match. Very enjoyable. On Disc 1, with the interviews, like I said, you don't get too much information. On Disc 1, pretty much the interviews, they talked about how Sting discovered wrestling, how he used to work at the gym in California, by Venice Beach actually, and how Hulk Hogan was working out there once, and pretty much someone was like telling him like, hey, it's Hulk Hogan, pretty much telling him about it, and Sting got into wrestling there, pretty much he discovered Hulk Hogan, then he got into wrestling after that, and he talked about how he got into the UWF. He broke in with a few other guys, but him and Jim Hellwig, who would end up being the Ultimate Warrior, were tag team together. They broke in the business together, and how after UWF, Sting decided to join, Jim Crockett Promotions to, pretty much make himself. He came up with the Sting character. He pretty much everything he's done, he came up with, and that he wanted to showcase himself because he knew he was better. So he became on his own in Jim Crockett's promotion, and went on from there. And how he finally joined WCW, and pretty much Sting was becoming, they were making Sting the face of WCW, considering how over he was. The fans wanted to see Sting, and just Sting was becoming a huge name in WCW, even in the early years. And how, his feud with Ric Flair is what really made Sting who he is. But without Ric Flair, Sting probably wouldn't be as big as he is, considering just the great matches they had, and the moment Sting had when he beat Flair for the title at Bash the Beach, or the Great American Bash, sorry, 90. So just this one, like I said, is very, very fun. Great match with a great match. No complaints from this one at all from me. Just extremely fun. Disc 2 was very good as well. I thought the matches are still very good, very enjoyable. Just every match kind of seemed the same. Like they were good, very good matches. I thought it was a fine disc. It was one of those discs where you can just sit through. It was definitely it was only 2 hours too, so it was definitely the shortest disc. But it was one of those discs where you can just sit through, and it's nothing spectacular, but nothing bad watching it. It was kind of complacent. The matches were just good. It was nothing really great on that disc, I thought. But with the interview, it talks about when him being WCW made, how basically WCW made him the star he is today. how he's the WCW guy, how he was a guy that WCW didn't, steal from WWF, but he was one of the guys that they're trying to make their own. And he talks about his feud with Vader, and Vader put him over, talking about a guy of Vader's statue, his size, and just how good of an athlete Sting was. Is what made their matches so great, and their feud so enjoyable, because Sting's a pretty big guy, but he's very athletic and very agile in the ring. So, and Vader's a huge guy, and he's pretty agile for a guy his size as well. So they meshed very well together. He said, and they talked about Sting's face paint, how when he did his face paint, he didn't know what he was doing. He just pretty much painted and just went with whatever he felt like doing. Like he even said, like, where he did the face paint, it was always just some kind of a in the moment thing, like whatever he thought of or whatever he felt was right. He did his face paint. He didn't really plan on doing anything specific. He just did it spur of the moment. So disc 2, good disc, but just nothing really that it was on. It's this okay. The way I see it, this one was great. Disc 2 is like that. Whatever. It's good, but nothing to go out of your way to see. And then we go on to disc 3, which is just dreadful. Honestly, disc 3 was very bad, and I'm not saying because it was like, oh, the matches were terrible. It was the later years of WCW. When you get in the later years of WCW, you should expect nothing good from the later years of WCW. And the matches didn't make any sense. You got a lot of almost every match on disc 2 or disc 3, sorry. Honestly, you had a DQ finish or some kind of screw job. The match with Jeff Jarrett, 2 out of 3 falls. They both have 1 fall. The referee gets knocked out. Sting puts the Scorpion Deathlock on Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett taps. Sting calls for the belt and declares himself the winner. That's WCW booking for you. The wrestlers are calling the fucking match. Like, this 3 was just dreadful, honestly. I was watching it on Skype, and just an hour into it felt like 3 hours. Honestly, it was dreadful. I love Sting, but just watching that disc was honestly like a chore. I didn't enjoy disc 3 at all. I thought it was very bad. The one match I enjoyed was him versus Booker T for the title, I think on Thunder. But it sucks because that match was only like 5 minutes, and to me that was the best match on the disc. Everything else was just mediocre, wasn't good, and like I said, the DQ bullshit finishes in each match is very. I honestly feel like you're watching the same thing because every match was DQ finish and NWO attack at the end. It wasn't enjoyable. I didn't like this 3. I wasn't a fan of it at all. But in the promos, the interviews, they talked about how Sting pretty much reinvented himself as the Crow. How he pretty much transitioned from being the over surfer guy to the dark guy who never talked as Crow Sting. Just a beautiful transformation how he can do that. I think only he can pull that off. Like when you watch him as a Crow, you just think like this guy's gonna kill someone. And that's just watching him as the Crow on the set. Like you just legitimately thought he was gonna kill someone, which is great. And he talked about choosing NWO or WCW. When he had to choose between the two for 18 months, he didn't know which side to go on, and he finally went with WCW. And he also talked about how he got the Scorpion Deathlock from a Japanese wrestler he saw in the 80s, and that's how he did that. Which it looks like a sharpshooter. So the Scorpion Deathlock, I was never really that big of a fan of it. I thought it was like a different version of the sharpshooter. Just he locked it in differently. So I was never really a big fan of it, but he claims he got it from a Japanese wrestler, and they showed the clip of the Japanese wrestler doing it, so that was pretty cool. And he talked about joining the Wolfpack to rival the NWO Hollywood, which he said he really enjoyed because when he joined the Wolfpack, he was able to talk again, because as a Crow, he was pretty much that dark guy that never said a word, and it was just pretty much that mysterious guy, but as in the Wolfpack, he's able to cut promos and talk like he used to again, so he really liked joining the Wolfpack for that reasoning alone. And they also talked about repelling from the rafters when it was something that added to the character, repelling from the rafters. Like, it was something no one ever did, or, no one's ever really seen that. So him repelling from the rafters was a big deal, especially the heights he would do it. Like, when he went down from the helicopter, like, sometimes it was just insane, repelling from the rafters. And at the end of it, they basically talked about Sting, being the face of WCW, being the franchise, being the guy that never left WCW. He was the guy that was always true to him. From the beginning to the end, and he never left them once. And pretty much when you think of WCW, You know, he's a WCW guy for life. You know, he's a guy that was always there and never left once. And you know, he'll always be branded as a WCW guy no matter what he does. Even if he joins WWE now, he'll always be branded as the WCW guy. So that's just loyalty right there. And Sting was very loyal, and he'll always be known as the name and face of WCW. But like I said, this set overall, it's very solid. I'd recommend it. Like I said, the first disc was just outstanding, very enjoyable. Disc 2 was just, it was good. You know, it felt complacent with the matches. Just the matches were just pretty much felt like the same level of enjoyment. You know, they're good matches, but like nothing really stands out in that disc at all, I thought. And disc 3, it was dreadful. I didn't enjoy disc 3 at all. Like I said, it was not very good. But what I got from this, like, you know, what I've learned was, you know, the Surfer Sting. Like I said, I didn't realize how popular he was. Like when I saw Surfer Sting, like I'd see him in other DVDs. Honestly, didn't really think that much of it. You know, I knew he was a big deal, but like I didn't know like he was a name of face as the Surfer Sting. So that was something new I learned watching this. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know how big of a deal he was as a Surfer Sting and how over he was. So seeing that was very enlightening for me, at least. But yeah, I didn't really learn anything else besides that, to be perfectly honest. I think this set is good if you want to watch a lot of Sting matches. Like I said, Disc 1, I'm putting Disc 1 over like a mofo because it really was that great of a disc. Disc 1 is just out of this park phenomenal. Just very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun watching it. Disc 2 is good, but nothing really stands out. But Disc 3, if you're going to watch Disc 3, you better have some coffee or something because you're going to get probably bored of it and probably want to go to bed. It's pretty dreadful. I did enjoy it. I did like the amount of TV matches though on it. There's I think the entire disc besides a match or two maybe were TV matches, which is, to me is awesome. I always love watching TV matches. To me, TV matches are awesome on DVDs because you don't get TV matches a lot. Like pay-per-view footage you can always get on either pay-per-view DVDs or the network or on other DVDs, where TV matches are not as common. So I always enjoyed having TV matches in my collection. But yeah, Best of Sting. Go pick it up. I recommend it. Very solid disc or set. I wouldn't say it's a great set. I wouldn't say like this is a DVD of the year contender. But I definitely think it was very, very good and very enjoyable for the most part. But yeah, this is my review, thoughts on the set. Leave your guys' thoughts below if you had the set and if you watched it. You know, pretty much comment what you thought about it, if you liked it or not. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.